Thank you so much for joining us this morning at Mystic Fitness for our indoors hot flow. So we have moved all of our outdoor classes inside now, so we'll still be live streaming all of our 9 a.m. classes, but just from inside the studio. And you're more than welcome to join us here or online for any of those classes. If you are planning to come to our indoor classes, please do pre-register online so we know that you're coming. And we have a limited capacity in the studio, so if you pre-register online, you know you're definitely going to get into class. Also, starting tomorrow, Friday, we will be, per the new mandate set by Governor Baker, using masks for all of our indoor classes for this point going forward until he makes that change. So maybe that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable coming inside, knowing that you'll be able to keep your mask on, and everybody else will have theirs on as well. So let's begin today's practice. So today's practice is going to be a lot about opening up our hearts, and to begin with, really slowing down. So it's been kind of a really energy-charged week. So let's find a balance between first finding ease and then finding openness. All right, let's begin on our backs today. And just let yourself find a place that feels nice for you here. And for many of us, laying with the legs fully lengthened does not feel good for your back. So if that is you, feel free to put your feet on the floor and bend your knees. And just take your feet out wide enough here so that your knees can kind of just naturally knock in a little bit. And there's really no effort at all to keep your legs as they are. They're just hovering in space. And we'll take a few moments here to really rest and ground and slow it down. Taking inhales through your nose and letting it out. Inhaling to fill up the belly and release. So being mindful here to breathe all the way down into the belly first. Let that belly fill up as much as it can. And then when you're ready to exhale, you'll just gently let it all go. Inhaling down into the belly, let the breath kind of spiral on up through the chest. And release. Maybe even visualizing that breath kind of stirring around in there. Or maybe give it a color. Particularly when your mind is very active, visualizing can help. So I'm visualizing a very soft blue, smoky air filling the lungs, kind of spiraling its way on up to fill my heart center. And release. So that soft blue is a very soothing color for me. And if you're working with a color, let it be whatever your color is. Staying in the moment, we'll take another 6 breaths this way. Notice that your face is nice and relaxed. Maybe bringing your awareness down to the shoulders. And if you feel like maybe they're crunched up towards the ear, just lift them up off the floor and then very gently place them a little further down. See if that helps you ease a bit more through your heart. Last few here. Last 2. And 1 more. Take a big inhale together through the nose. And gently sigh this one out. Starting to move your fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. At some point, we'll take our knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Maybe if you can't quite reach so early on, or maybe you'll never reach. That's okay. Hold on to the shins and just rock a little side to side. Just stirring yourself gently more awake. Take about one more breath here. We're going to drop our feet down to the floor, hips width apart. And we're going to work on just waking up the very low spine. This is a very small move. Hands come alongside you as if you're going into a bridge. Take an in-breath and just start to curl your tailbone towards you, just like an inch, pressing your back into the mat. And as you exhale, go the opposite direction and create a little space where you could slide your hand underneath your back. On the inhale, we'll curl the tailbone forward, and as you exhale, curl it away, lifting the low back off the floor. So we're just getting a little bit of movement into the low spine first before we start to lift a little higher into bridge. Get one more of these gentle pelvic tilts, and then go the opposite direction. This time we'll start to lift into a bridge. As you inhale, find the pelvic tilt and then move your way up. Maybe you don't go all the way up to your highest just yet. And then exhale, try to lower down with control, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, curl up. These might start to grow a little bigger. Allow them to. And exhale, descend. So instead of forcing our bridges to grow bigger, we're allowing the space to start to happen, and then we'll lower it down, nice and slow. We'll get another one like this, inhaling, creating more space, maybe we're getting higher, and exhale, rolling gently down. This time as we inhale, we'll lift the arms back as we lift the hips, and then exhale, lower it on down. One more, dynamically moving. And down. Lift up and stay this time. Arms can reach back behind you, bringing a longer stretch into the sides of the body. Maybe you're starting to press a little bit more into the heels to open up the front of the body, opening up the heart. Try not to over-clench the glutes here. Yes, they are working, but don't rely solely on the glutes. Let the hamstrings help. If you prefer your hands alongside you, of course you can bring them back there. We'll take one more breath in. And then as we exhale, we'll descend back down. Arms come back alongside you. Just take your feet a little wider on your mat as we find some movement with the knees side to side. Gentle twist, knees fall over to the right. Inhale through center and then bring them to the left. Let your breath move your legs. And my head has decided it would like to go along for the ride, but it's got a mind of its own, so it's going in the opposite direction of the knees. Let yourself do what feels right for you, not necessarily what feels right for me. The next time that your knees land over to the right side, let them be. Explore a very gentle twist here. Tune into the sound of your breath. Make that your soundtrack. One more here. And for breath 3 on the side, final one. Beautiful. Let's take the knees up to center on the inhale. Exhale them to the other side and just let them fall. Fall as deep as they want to fall. A few more breaths. Last 2. And 1.
Good. Let's inhale, nose and knees to the ceiling. Take the knees into the chest one more time. Squeeze them down as much as you can, rock side to side. And then from here, we'll start to rock forward and back. I prefer to take my hands under the thighs as I rock forward and back. If you don't like rocking forward and back, you can instead just rock side to side. If you are rocking forward and back, maybe you find a moment to hover towards a boat position. Maybe not. Just a couple here. Kind of massaging out the spine. Last two. And last one. This time as you come forward, cross your ankles, get your hands to the floor, and kind of flip yourself back there into your tabletop position. With your hands either under the shoulders or even further away, creating your shoulders on a diagonal line away from the wrists. Let's curl our toes under and find some core cat-cows this morning. Now we're going to start to heat ourselves up. As you inhale, you'll arch, but also let the hips come back. And then as you exhale, you'll curl up, begin to lift the knees, and the core is going to say hello. Drop the knees, come on back like you're about to pounce. Exhale, curl and lift. We'll get 3 more. Make sure, especially as you lift, you're pressing all of the pads of the fingers to the floor. Drop the knees gently, arch back on the in-breath. Exhale, curl powerfully. And one more time. Curl, pause. Stay here for a moment. To create even more heat, you can kind of lift and lower knees a couple times, like you're pumping yourself up here for a great practice. You can either do this or just hold the knees lifted or even drop them down if it's becoming too much. And then from here, we'll make our way up into downward facing dog. I love how that also helps you open up and warm up the legs. We'll start to pedal one foot at a time here, allowing one side of the body to lengthen more and then the other. Your head is heavy and it may shake gently side to side to release any other things that are going on in there. Let them all just fall out of your head and be absorbed by Mother Earth. One more breath this way. Now we're going to wave like water through our planks. So finding your still dog, let's soften the knees. I call this a bent knee dog. Look forward here. As you exhale, pick up the hips and roll your way towards plank. As you inhale, bend the knees, glide your way back. Exhale, wave forward. So I like to think of the glide back as the waves going back out to the ocean and the roll forward, them coming onto the shore. So create these ocean waves in your body. Get lost in the tide here. Use your breath, maybe creating a little bit of an ocean-like sound. And we'll get 2 more this way. And last one. As you make your way into plank, hold it nice and strongly here. Press your fingers into the ground. Low belly is drawing inward and upward. Squeeze the pelvic floor. On the next breath in, we'll drop the knees, and as you exhale, lower gently all the way down to the earth. Tuck the chin, inhale, cobra pose, look forward, opening up the heart. Exhale, come down. Twice again, inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Last time. And lower down. This time we'll inhale up to cobra pause. Press your way up and back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Let it go. One more breath. Beautiful. Let's travel to the top of the mat now. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. And as you're ready, walk, or if you're in a hopping mood, you can always hop the feet towards the hands instead. We'll inhale halfway here. And exhale, fold down into your ragdoll position. Head's heavy. A few snaps and pops as you shake the head side to side is okay. Just kind of breaking through the cobwebs there in the head and the neck. Sometimes I make little circles with the neck. And try bending the knees a lot here, especially early on in practice. Let your lower back softly start to find that length, backing off the hamstrings. One more breath in, and back out. As you inhale, we'll rise all the way up, extended mountain. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's make our way through our first sun salutation together. Inhale, arms stretch all the way up tall. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway. As you exhale, we're coming directly back to down dog, so we can find that extra little bit of core work here in a waved plank. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, wave that plank. Beautiful. Inhale, hold strong. Exhale, drop either all the way down, dropping knees, or maybe modified chaturanga, finding this hover. Inhale, lift up dog with thighs up, or cobra with them down. And exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in and out. 2 more. 1 more. 3-leg dog on the right. Let's inhale the right leg sky high. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip here. We're stacking one hip over the other. You want to make sure that your right hand presses just as much down into the earth as the left. When your next in-breath is ready, we'll come back to 3-leg dog. Leg back, hips level out. Exhale, knee towards chest. Let's pull it up. 1 more. Inhale, stretch it up there. Exhale, curl knee towards chest. And then see if you can just place your foot near the right hand. If it didn't make it, give it a loving little coax with the right hand there. And we're making our way up into a crescent lunge. Now, I like to bend the back knee before I do so I can use the front spine, those deep transverse abdominal muscles, to pull my way up and knock it into the low back. We're gonna get some lion's breath bows here to just get rid of any stagnant stuff. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you're gonna bow forward. You can exhale through the nose firmly, or out through the mouth and stick out the tongue. A few more. And as that front knee stays bent, the back knee has a nice little buoyancy to it. Last one. Stay down in this hovered position. Open up the fingers. I like to kind of bend and extend at the ball of the foot here, just kind of warming the back foot. That makes me feel longer through the entire leg and the crown of the head. 1 more breath. Nice. Let's all the way come up to our crescent here. Arms reach up. We'll take the right hand down to the hip. Inhale, left arm up to the sky, and then exhale, reach left arm up and over towards the right. So we're adding a little side bend in here. 2 breaths more. 1 more. Inhale, both arms sky high. Exhale, hands to the front foot for runner's twist. Left hand stays down. Maybe you've got a block there for you. And then you'll take the right arm up to the sky. Try to stay strong in your legs, not allowing the legs to drop down here and get sinky in your hips. We're getting a nice, strong, active stretch. 2 breaths. 2 more. Last. Last breath in. Exhale, both hands to the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to check in with right and left leg. And my right leg feels about 1 inch longer than the left. So hopefully you're somewhere like that. And let's do the other side now. Inhale, the left leg gets the same treatment. Stretch it up. Bend the knee to open the hip. Now maybe you bend your elbows a little. Try not to lock out your joints. We don't want to rely on the joints to hold us up here. We want to rely on the muscles. 1 more big breath. And we'll inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, a tiger curl pulls the knee into the chest. Hips are picked up there. One more. Inhale, slide it up. Exhale, curl it forward like you mean it. Pause. And let's get the foot towards the front hand. So it comes right next to the left thumb. Feet hips width apart. Back knee softens as you use that front spine to unravel into your glorious crescent lunge. Let's find our bows. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow. Few more. Exhale, like you mean it, through the nose or the mouth. 3 to go. 2. And 1. Stay hovered. So in this hovered position, there's a lot more action that needs to happen to keep you here. Lower belly, just enough an engagement to protect the low back. Reach through your fingers, reach through the back foot and the crown of your head. 1 more breath. Just let your gaze fall right down wherever it would. Inhale back to crescent arms up, and then the left hand to the left hip. Big in-breath to get longer on the side body, and exhale over. So we're trying not to crunch in to the left side as we open up on the right. A little bit of a heart opener here too, rolling that top shoulder back a bit. Inhale back to crescent arms up. Exhale, hands to the front foot for twist. Right hand stays down, left arm sweeps up. Your gaze can follow your hand, but if your neck doesn't like that today, can look side or even down. You want an intentional gaze. That focal point is your drishti, and focusing lightly on it with softened eyes can help soften your heart and get rid of any judgments that might be going through your mind or any tension in the face. 1 more breath in. Exhale, hand comes down, step your way back, downward facing dog. Deep breath. Let it out. Let's travel forward. Inhale, look forward, knees bend. Exhale, walk, or you're welcome to try a hop if you like, towards the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway, hands to shins. Exhale, soften and fold. 1 breath. Let it out. Inhale, all the way up, extended mountain. We'll stay here. As you reach the arms energetically up, shoulders draw down and back. So we're lifting up through the front spine, getting as tall as we can. On exhales, you might start to find just a hint of a back bend, trying not to get too much into the low spine, but really just pressing the hips forward, reaching nice and long. 1 more big breath. And as you exhale, hands find heart center. Just 1 chair today. Can't forget a chair pose. What would our yoga practice be? Inhale up and exhale. Let's sit to chair. It would still be a fabulous practice. Just a little less glutes, right? So this is a nice place to start to find balance with 2 feet down, because you are shifting your weight back, so it is throwing things off a little bit. So you're more than welcome to stay here. Arms can reach forward, or if it feels better for you, cactus arms. So I'm not going to be picky about the arms for today's practice in chair. You get to pick. And we're going to just play around with this single leg chair for a moment. So just a little more awareness in that right leg. Lift the left heel. Now this might be as far as you go today. Or you might kick your foot forward a bit. And maybe your ankle is a little trembly. That's okay. We're just waking up muscles we didn't even know existed. We'll put that foot back down into chair, and then we'll just come out briefly for a little break. And then right back down we go. Arms forward to help the hips slide back in space. Staying here or lifting right heel. Maybe that's as far as you go, just kind of energetically shifting a bit to the left, or picking the foot up. Another breath. Foot places back down in chair. Inhale all the way up. And we'll exhale for ragdoll. Bend your knees and flop all the way down there, just like an actual ragdoll. Almost like you didn't have any bones at all. Then if you like to, you can find ragdoll arms, grabbing opposite elbows, sway side to side. Maybe the idea of a single-leg chair made you get in your head, so let it all fall out again. Nice and heavy here. Soften knees, perhaps. Swing or just enjoying stillness, whatever suits you in the moment. One more full inhale. And exhale. Release elbows. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to namaste at the heart. Let's flow again. Inhale, arms stretch tall. Lift up. Exhale, bow. Big in-breath halfway. Exhale, hands plant. Press fingers. Downward facing dog. Wave your plank. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, roll it through. Inhale in plank, coming to chaturanga or the floor. This time, if you'd like to keep the knees up, give it a go. You want to keep the shoulders higher than the elbows here. Flip the feet, inhale, up dog or maybe cobra. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Coming back to our right leg, stretch the right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee towards nose, pause for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step to the right hand. This time, warrior 1. So we're going to drop the back heel down. Let's set up our foundation before we construct the building. So make sure you like where the feet are, hips width apart, back toes point out at an angle. And then lift your way up as you're ready. Warrior 1. Shoulders will point forward. Hips are trying to point forward as well. We're going to take our arms into a humbled warrior position, so reach them all the way out to the side. See if you can interlace them behind you. And if they don't quite reach, you can grab a strap if you have one. Bathrobe belt look works great. Towel. And we'll find a few waterfalls here to really kind of get loose in the spine. Inhale, look up. As you exhale, bow. Tuck chin, inhale, roll up. Exhale, descend. Last few. Last 2. Last 1. Stay humbled. So so important to find humbleness, humility. Let yourself just be. We've got strong legs. We're bowing down with the rest of the body. We're releasing, giving it all up. One more breath here. Good. Let's drop our hands to the front foot. And we're making our way into a side plank. So to do that, you want to pick up the back heel so you make sure that you are now have that heel lifted. Roll to the outer edge of the left foot, swing the right foot back, and lift the right arm. Now you could do this with the feet stacked one in front of each other, or you could always drop the bottom knee down to the ground. Energize long through both arms, through the crown of your head and the legs. One more breath. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale to a center plank, and then down dog we go. Let's do the other side here. Inhale, left leg sky high. Exhale, knee curls for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step to the left hand, warrior 1 feet. When you're ready, we rise with in-breath. Still try to use the front of the spine. Arms come out to the side and interlace behind you. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, bow it down. Roll up on an in-breath and roll down on an out-breath. Really press into the ball of the front foot there, right where the big toe meets the foot, to help that roll up. So if you can really connect to that place just below the big toe, you can almost feel the roll up start to happen throughout the inner thigh, all the way up to the groin. Let's just get one more, and then we will bow, tuck the chin, and be humble. We're still strong when we're humble though, right? Legs strong. Two more breaths. One more. On your in-breath, lift the chest a little, hands to the front foot. Pick up the back heel so you're on the ball of the back foot now, and then sweep the left leg back for plank as you roll to the outer edge of that back leg. So we're energizing the back foot or edge of the back foot into the floor. Maybe your hips lift up even higher. Maybe you fall over and you use a little kickstand toe like I just did there. It's almost like a little baby wild thing. So it's all good, right? Explore maybe slight variations in your posture. As we stay for all of our breaths, there are micro adjustments happening or exploration of some kind. One last big breath in. As you exhale, back to center plank, downward facing dog. And we're going to take a quick little detour to child's. Drop your knees, press the hips back. Just taking notice of how you feel here. Slowing everything down again. Notice the changes that you're feeling from the beginning of practice until now. And for the three of us that are in here today, it's so warm and juicy. Last few. Two more. Last. Let's come back up onto hands and knees. Curl toes, lift knees up. Find that little bit of a cat here around the back. Maybe a little pressing up and down of the knees. So we rested a little bit. Now we're using our springs, our joints, to get ready for a little bit more standing. And finally, downward facing dog. Here we are. Right leg comes to the sky. Sweep it up. Exhale, bend the knee and open the hip this time. Open up. It's nice for the heart too. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, pause. Step to your hand. We're coming to warrior two now, so we'll drop the left heel down and just lift yourself gently up. And we want to make sure that the feet are in line. The front ankle is either in line with the back of the foot or the back ankle there. Let's stretch the arms nice and long. Your drishti here becomes your right thumb. Feel that nice long line of energy going up and down the spine. Root your feet into the mat and soften the shoulders. Holding your strong, peaceful warrior. When we approach things strongly but with peace, we can achieve anything. Let's flip the right hand. Inhale to a nice reverse warrior. And a slow exhale to extended side angle. We'll let our right forearm come to the thigh and stretch the left arm up. Now you can, if you wish, keep your top arm here. Or to start to open up the heart a little more, we'll find a half bind. So to achieve that, we turn the top palm so that the thumb now faces your back foot. And then we'll bend the elbow. This will bring the back of your left hand to the small of your back. Stay right here. And if anybody out there likes to play with full bind, you can of course go there. What that would look like, if you're up for an adventure, is to take the right arm under the thigh and interlace your fingers. But once you get them there, if you feel like you're a little bendy forward, you want to kind of unwind yourself so you're back in that extended side angle position. And if you feel any yanking on the shoulders, guess what? Forget about it, right? One more breath. Let's inhale here, up and back, front knee stays bent. Exhale, warrior two.
We're coming into a forward fold here, wide legs, pick up right toes, pivot on heel. Inhale, open your heart. Get ready to hug the world. We need it. Bend the knees and take the hips back. So with things so divided here, people feeling so strongly about what they believe in, we really need to understand that at the very heart of all of us is love. Let's embrace that love. Let's try to embrace each other and pick each other up in these times. Not focusing on what divides us, but let's focus on what unites us. A few more breaths, just let it all go here. One more. Let's inhale halfway. Exhale. We're going to walk our hands to the front foot. I'm going to set you up for a funky version of half pigeon. So we're just going to step our way first back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg, same leg, all the way up again. And then as you exhale, you're taking your right knee behind your wrist, but instead of your traditional way, taking your shin across the mat, we're actually going to fold the leg directly underneath, slide the left leg back, and we're going to sit back on the heels. So this version of pigeon takes all of the hip out of it, and or the right hip, I should say, and it's all about the left hip flexor here. Now, for those of you that were wanting your traditional half pigeon, it's coming. So enjoy this one here and now. If your hands don't reach the floor, you can bring them onto blocks. But we're sitting up pretty tall, working on lengthening the back leg and getting as much space right here as we can. A few more here. Last one. We have one final breath. Possibly you reach the arms up, which makes your body a little heavier. Exhale, the shoulders draw down, maybe adding just a tiny bit of a back bend. And we'll take our hands back down to the floor, curl the back toes under, make your way back downward facing dog. So we've got a dancer coming up later, and just kind of notice if maybe your dancer feels a little better today, and maybe it doesn't, but that was my hope with that version of pigeon there. So we're just gonna do the other side, same thing. So we will lift the left leg sky high. Exhale, let's open the hip, almost forgot about that there, open it up. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to the chest, pause just briefly, step to your hand, drop the back heel, and mindfully use your core strength and your soul to lift yourself up into your warrior two on this side. Maybe you gaze for your thumb. Always coming back to the breath. Breath is a very beautiful tool that we have with us always to help us keep ourselves grounded and present and to cool down before we react. And we need that too. Maybe you practice taking several breaths before you react in your next encounter today. Let's flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse back. And exhale, extended side angle. Again, if you want to try your bind. Top hand turns, bend the elbow, low back. You can gaze up. You can gaze for me or your front foot. If you tried your full bind, go ahead and try it here if you want. Three breaths. We have 2 more breaths. No, your hand doesn't have to stay at the low back if you don't want it to. 1 more. Inhale all the way up with your arm. Exhale, final breath here. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Pick up toes, wide leg folded forward again. This time we're going to practice taking the arms down and back. Draw the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, fall forward. You can stay right down the middle. Or to get into the inner thighs, you can bend the right knee and then the left. And if you're bending, you might have more of a half lift kind of thing going on here with the spine. Sometimes I let my hands kind of twist side to side, so not only side lunges, but a little bit of a twist. So I encourage you to do you. We are all beautiful, unique individuals, which what makes the world the place that it is. And that's the place I want to be, where all of us are bringing our unique gifts into it. If you are still side lunging, just finish up so that you have done equal amount on each side. And we'll pause in the middle for 1 moment. Breathe. Release the hands to the ground. Inhale halfway. And exhale. We're going to walk the hands to the front foot. Step your way back. Downward facing dog. So we're doing our funky half pigeon on this side. Inhale, left leg sky high. Exhale, knee into chest. Pause. Drop your knee behind the wrist, but we're sitting back on the shin and heel. You want to lengthen the straight leg back as much as you can. That's going to really get into the front hip. Hands can stay right here. Blocks will make the floor a little higher for you. So we're trying to practice this nice tallness, lifting up through the ribs, but maybe just the babiest back bend here. Focusing on the front of the hip of the extended leg. This is where we're really trying to get into right here. It's kind of that opposite seated position. So if you spend a lot of time sitting at home, this could be a lifesaver for you. For our last few breaths, or maybe just the final one, arms might reach up, shoulders draw down, even lifting the gaze. 1 more. All right, hands come down. Ooh. Curl the toe and make your way back. As soon as I let go of my drishti, I almost toppled right over. I love how you're always learning. Every single time I come to the mat, I learn something new. Whether I'm teaching in a classroom environment, practicing, or practicing at home. Take 1 more breath in and out. Let's look forward, bend the knees. Exhale, walk or go for that hop, forward. Inhale, let's go halfway up. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way. Heart center. We're coming into 2 balancing positions here, standing, and then we will take the rest of the class down on the floor. So find your way to prepare for your balance in a beautiful, strong mountain pose. Find your roots. I love imagining whether I'm in tree or in mountain, of the actual trees outside, and looking and imagining how beautifully tall they are. Their roots are just as long. So they take up all that space in the earth, and they even intertwine underneath the earth, holding each other up. So I am growing these tree roots out through my feet now. Trying to find your little tree roots behind me. Let's fly our eagle here. Inhale, the arms stretch up. As you exhale, we'll bring them to the front, crossing the right arm underneath the left. Sit your way down into eagle. Find chair again. So just like we did our single leg chair, we're going to just shift the weight onto the standing leg. So that would be your left leg, your right leg. And then we'll take the opposite leg, left leg, up and over. So we are balancing on the right leg first. And I'm having a little trouble getting my foot all the way behind my calf today. So instead of like getting all angry about it, I'm just gonna let my toe rest to the ground. I'm still an eagle. I'm still getting a benefit here. Almost all of the weight is in my standing leg. I just have the tiniest bit of help from the other foot. You can do it like this, or just with that other foot dangling, or behind the calf. One more breath. Final one. Let's release eagle. Inhale, unravel everything. And exhale to do the other side. Balancing on the left leg now, we bring the left arm under the right. Find your seat. And then as you're ready, let's pick up the right leg. Lift it up, cross it over the thigh, and see if you can sink down. The more you sink down, the straighter I seem to be able to get my spine, so see how that feels, maybe sinking down a little deeper with your kickstand or without it. Pressing arms fully into each other. Engage pelvic floor. 2 breaths. And 1. Eagle release, unravel, unwind all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Coming into dancer, this will be our final standing pose of class. You'll take your feet hips width apart. We will bounce on the right leg first. Inhale the arms up, extended mountain, and really feel the energy from your roots drawing all the way up the body, up the hands here. When you're ready, you'll bring a little more awareness to the right leg. Left hand comes down, but you didn't lose that length. Pick up the right foot, either with an inside grip or an outside grip. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you begin to kick your foot into your hand. And as you kick your foot into your hand, your other hand will automatically start to reach forward. Find something to look at. Find your edge. Don't be afraid to go past your edge a bit and fall. Falling is one of the best ways to learn, right? Whether it's a physical fall or maybe some other type of not exactly what you had planned. One more breath. And when you're ready, you will release that. Hands can come to heart center for a moment. Maybe even close your eyes. Take a few breaths to notice the legs, notice how you're feeling. And let's get our final standing pose in here. Inhale, arms stretch nice and big. Exhale, stay here for a moment. And here we go, more awareness in left side. Right hand comes down. Now you can grab with an inside or an outside grip. I'm going outside today. Gets a little deeper into the shoulders and the chest to go inside. Whenever you're ready, on an exhale, we start to kick the foot into your hand. And maybe you kick and you come out because you weren't ready. And just let yourself find it. Both sides might look very different from each other. It's just something to see, to notice. Maybe you've got injuries on one side. There's probably some sort of reason for it. And it's a good way to get to know yourself. Try to stay with it a few more breaths. Dancer, 2 more breaths, but if you need your ground and mountain, perfectly fine. 1 more breath. You guys look great. I can see them in the mirror. Dancer, release. All right, so we're just gonna let ourselves close the eyes, shake off any last remains of any BS that we have, and just find some love, find some movement, very gentle movement. And we'll let ourselves find our steadiness, slowing down. We will find one vinyasa flow together to find the ground. So facing the top of the mat once again. Arms sweep up, big breath in here. As you exhale, let's still soften the knees as we dive downwards. So soft and humble. Inhale halfway. Exhale, plant hands. Step back, down dog. You know I love the beach. One more rolling plank here. Inhale, look forward, bend knees. Exhale, roll and wave. Inhale, hold the plank. Exhale, take forearm plank. Who saw that coming? You might have saw it coming, but you detoured. You're like, just another 2 breaths. You can always take knees down here. That takes the pressure off a lot. One more. Great. Let's all drop the knees, tops of the feet, and then the thighs and the belly. So we landed in a Sphinx pose. I want you to really press your fingers into the floor. Try to draw yourself a bit forward here. So it's a gentle back bend. And you don't need to look forward. Sometimes I can get a little crunchy there in the back of the neck. So just kind of extend the top of the head forward. Little pull. So the pull's drawing the shoulders kind of down your back, just like we would in lots of our poses. And we'll make our way into a quad stretch here. So we will either stay propped up just on the right hand, or you can lay down and relax. Pick up left foot, give it a little pull it in toward the glute here. So if you're staying up on your form, you got a little back bend in with it. Or if you're like, oh, I need a moment here. You just lay down. You can lift that leg up off the ground if you want to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the quad. Even sliding a block under it. And one more breath. Awesome. Let's switch sides. Let go. Either propped up or laying down. Other leg now. Maybe even take a moment to curl the toes of the lengthened leg under and lengthen the leg a little more back. And find your quad stretch here. You can keep the knee down and pull the heel in or let the knee lift. Couple more breaths. One more. Good. Let's release. So we'll take just a moment here to just let the legs swish a little side to side. And we're going to take our way into a bow position next. So if bow isn't happy for you, you can instead do a locust pose, maybe with the arms extended back, airplane style, and lift up like so. If you are going for your bow, you will bend both knees, reach back, catch the ankles, maybe even flex the feet or the ankle joint. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, kick, just like we did in Dancer. Super deep heart opener here, opening up from the front of the body. Deep breaths. See if you can keep your knees more hips width apart than letting them splay out. So if they're splayed out, try to draw them in. See how it changes things. Trying to get those long, slow belly breaths even though we're on the belly. And one more. And down we come. Oh, all right.
pillow time. Let's fold the arms under your head and just windshield wiper out the legs a little side to side. Let's press our way up into a tabletop position here. Just a couple gentle cat-cows. We'll get 3 of them. Basic, normal cat-cows. No more core work for us today. Well, at least not now. Maybe later. Let's lower the belly, look up. Exhale, curl. 2 more. And curl. And 1. Let's come back to tabletop and we'll thread our needle here. We'll take an inhale and stretch the right arm up. As you exhale, let's thread it underneath. Let's get that twist in for the spine. We'll do that again. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, thread it through. So I'm going for one more dynamic one, but you could stay here now if you wish. This time we will all land it as we allow the right cheek, right shoulder to be on the ground. You can keep your left hand where it is. I tend to like to take mine forward, tent the fingers, and reach long. That really accentuates the stretch all the way down through the rib cage. Another option here is to add that half bind back in. So that might feel good. If your shoulders are a little overworked, that might be a little much. Some of us need that little bit extra opening in the shoulders. So since we're all different, so I really want you to do what's right for you. One more. Let's sneak our left hand back towards the shoulder so we can get ready to come out. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. We'll just circle it hand as it comes down to the floor. Other side now, left arm up, breath in, really reach up, maybe even twist back a bit. Exhale, thread. 2 more movements here. Inhale, peel open. Exhale, thread. One more time. Open yourself up to all of the possibilities up there. And then exhale, thread, and just soak them all in. Try to even out the hips. Maybe you take the other arm long and forward, or explore a half bind. You might just leave it where it was. Maybe that's plenty. Last few. One more. I love a good sigh. Let's take the right hand back under the shoulder. Inhale, peel open again, grab those possibilities. Maybe you circle out the hand as you let the hand gently come back down to the mat. So I promised you your more traditional half pigeon. It is coming up right now. If you prefer to go onto your back figure 4 style, go for it. You'll just roll onto your back instead. For traditional pigeon, you'll curl your toes under. Pick your hips up, so we're back to down dog. As you're ready on an in-breath, we will stretch the right leg all the way up. Maybe you bend the knee to open the hip. I like adding that in there. At some point, you'll end it back and straight. Exhale, knee into the chest. Drop the knee behind the wrist, but this time, we're letting the shin come diagonally across the front of the mat. And if you feel like you can't stay here without kind of sinking over to the right, that was a very dramatized sinking over to the right, you bring a block up under the right hip. And you can even stay here in a proud pigeon, but might be more restful and lovely to start to roll your way down towards the ground, letting your belly lead the way. Heart's next in line. And we'll just let the head follow the gut and follow the heart. Head lands last. You can fold your arms under your head if you need a little extra height for your head so that it has a place to rest. bring it to the floor or a block. Nothing to do here but breathe and let go. So very passively stretching here. Try to relax as much as you can. There might be some muscles that you need to keep you where you are, so you can lightly engage and activate those. But anything else is softened. That includes all of the muscles of your face, shoulders. Maybe just quickly doing a scan all the way down towards your back toes to make sure that you're feeling just as wonderful as you can. Four more breaths. And we just take them one at a time. Living our lives and our practice one moment at a time. Not lying in wait for the thing we think we want, but fully experiencing all of it, and maybe discovering something that we needed that we didn't even know existed. One more. Let's begin to bring our hands back towards the hips. Tuck your chin and unfurl, roll out of your pigeon to make your pigeon proud. Curl your toes under. Lift the back knee. Lift the front leg up and back. I like to get into a three-leg dog and give it a nice little shake out there. Feels good. And whenever you're done shaking it out, you're going to set it back down. Explore your down dog. And when your other side says, it's my turn, then you're going to give it its turn. Inhale, left leg sky high, maybe opening up the hip there. Leg up and back as you're ready. Knee into the chest, and then slide the knee behind the wrist. This time, normal one you're used to, shin goes across. This pose in particular really helps me see the difference between two sides of my body. One hip, so open, other hip, not so much. So it's just good to notice these things about yourself so that as you live your life, you know where you're at, right? You can treat yourself a little kinder. Maybe you're allowing yourself the freedom to rest more fully forward. And maybe to allow yourself the freedom to rest, you need support. So maybe there's a block under the left thigh or a block under your forehead. Maybe in your life, so that you can allow yourself to rest, you allow yourself to take the support of others. They're there for you. You just have to let them know you need them. Stay here, breathe. Three breaths more. Last two here. One more. If you're ready to come out, you'll start to come out, but allow yourself to stay if you'd like a little longer. Totally fine. Hands will start to walk to the hips as you're ready. Use a little push of the hands and an unfurl of the chest to come on up. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee, lift the left leg up, take it up, shake it off. And you stir it around. Maybe you walk it out, whatever you need. And we'll take our way back to a high plank. I'm going to wave mine, but you don't have to. I just really, really love that. Can you tell? Drop the knees down. We're going to make our way onto our backs here. So just roll yourself down. I'm going to come a little closer to you guys. That's right. I heard a big sigh of relief here in the studio. It's so nice getting used to this warm room once again, but it's definitely different from what we've been dealing with outside on these perfectly crisp and beautiful fall days. Just let your knees come to the chest as you rock. Love yourself. Last couple of breaths. We're just rocking for a moment. Nothing more, nothing less. Sometimes less is more. Let's let our feet come down to the ground. And we're going to come into one more bridge, or we've done a lot of stuff opening up the heart and the back today. So if you're someone who's practicing a wheel, you might be able to come into that instead. And I will show you that also in case you're curious about it. But most likely, most of us just coming back to bridge, hands alongside you. When you're ready, you'll press your hips up to get a little deeper. You might walk the shoulders closer to each other and interlace your hands under your low back. Notice how this bridge feels compared to the first one. It should feel very, very different with all the work we did on opening up the hip flexors today. And because of that, some of you who normally don't feel so good about it might be able to come up into your wheel, taking hands behind shoulders. Last 2 breaths in and out. So back bends are very energizing. We're just creating a little heat here. And then we will very, very slowly release all the way down. Soles of the feet touch. Knees drop out as we rest in reclined bound angle. We'll start to work our Dirga breath. That's that 3-part breath. We'll inhale first to fill the belly. Let that gorgeous breath of yours spiral its way up to fill your heart with all that newness. And then we'll exhale. Taking in fresh oxygen, fresh ideas, possibilities, a lightness and love. And exhaling any negative thoughts, emotions. One of the most important lessons I think that I've learned through my yoga practice is that we really create the world that we live in, just by our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Slowing down and coming to your breath. And for me, it was easiest to start to talk to myself a little bit more nicely. No longer judging myself. Well, that's a work in progress, but doing the best that I can. And in this way, things that we might have thought before as failures become our successes. Because we're just noticing them as teaching moments. We're noticing that it just makes us human. So maybe we start to change our stories of the you should have and the why didn't you, to the look how lovely you are. Look at all the love that surrounds you and all the love that you give out. One more breath. Let's find our wind relieving pose to set up for our twist. We'll take the right knee into the chest, interlace your fingers on the shin, and stretch the opposite leg very long and away. Really feel that length there. Even squeeze the knee up a little bit more, active stretch again. And we'll find our more passive stretch as we twist, taking the left hand to the knee, right hand out to the side. And your knee will just very gently cross over the body. Maybe your head decided to face the opposite way. I tend to just let my toes rest onto the floor so my knee is not hanging out in space. You could always bring a block under the knee if that felt better. So we're trying to keep both shoulders pressed to the floor. That's going to keep your heart open here. Last two. Last one. Let's gently unwind, make our way to the other side. Squeeze your knee in, other leg lengthens. Enjoying this moment before moving to twist. And then finally we'll twist. Left arm out to steady you, and the right hand is your guide. So we have support of one hand and a gentle coaxing and adjustment of the other. Maybe turning closed eyes to face long arm. Two breaths more. In one. Nice, let's unwind. Getting ready for Shavasana. Find any last little rock, roll, squeeze, whatever you need. I usually end up with a little bit of this knees to chest to help my spine soften once again fully to the earth. And then you'll let your legs extend down your mat if it's okay for lower back. Or once again, feet to floor with the knees gently knocked in. Let's take it all in. And then let it all go. Just being here now. Some days my mind wakes up as soon as I hit this position, and I need to come back to some pranayama to give it something to do, because I know how important this is. Sometimes even though we know things all the way down to our soul, we still don't listen. So let your breath help you. Let that soft inner voice speak to you now. No other place we need to be. If you are able to stay here longer, please stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. I will allow my students in class with me to just stay here as we say our final goodbye together this morning. If you have decided to sit up, slowly I hope, you can take your hands to prayer. If you're still laying down, just place one hand over the other over the heart. Feel the warmth of your heart. Show it to everyone you see today. We'll end our class with the sound of Om. Let's take a cleansing breath to prepare. And let it go. And inhale for Om.
I thank you all so much for joining me and sharing your practice with me. It is truly an honor to be your guide. May the love and the light within you guide you throughout your day and beyond. Namaste.